Okay, so how can you show your SaaS meta ads to millionaires? After decades of perfecting the algorithm, right now the most targeting in meta happens through the creative. But this makes you wonder, how do I then get my ads in front of millionaires if there is no button which is just called show this only to 8 and 9 figure companies? Look, in this video, I will explain you how. I will show you the same principles which I've used with one founder who joined my advisory program with his SaaS targeting e-com brands. So before working with me, he was chasing $200 and $300 a month payments from small stores. And in our second month of working together, he is already booking motivated calls with decision makers from these 8 and 9 figure companies, now closing 5 to 15K upfront annual deals. This is just one of the recent emails he got saying, sure, definitely interested. Do you have time for a call today or tomorrow? And this one is basically from the research that they are doing over 100 million in annual revenue. So the first thing you want to look into is understanding that you need to be talking about deliverables instead of outcomes. So the closer your messaging is to your actual deliverable, the better, because then you attract higher intent, wealthier buyers. Why? Because they know exactly what they want. And because of that, there are way fewer objections for you to handle. And then the more you talk about the outcome, the more selling and convincing will be required for you to get them there. So the outcome-based messaging sounds something like this. We will help your e-com brand scale to gazillion dollars. At the same time, deliverable-based messaging is we install the customer identification system for your e-com store to help you increase AOV. So because number one definition of a qualified lead is they want to buy exactly what you are selling. So you don't get conversations with them if you always lead with outcomes and never explain what you do. And now the second thing is when putting together messaging for your campaigns, you want to be talking to winners, not losers. To attract better people, stop talking about misery, pain, or losing hope. You will attract people who are feeling exactly that. Instead, you want to be talking to winners who are frustrated with something. Are you frustrated that your ads aren't getting you results? And something like that. You want to talk about stagnation or feeling annoyed by the thing not working. Your ideal buyers are going to resonate with that. And this is how your messaging actually works like a magnet towards people who have the budget and are looking to solve the problem now. Plus, when you're doing that, it's important that you connect the dots in the explanation as well, because something like this, where there is no bridge built, is never going to work. We're going to 4x your revenue by giving you better analytics because there is no connection there. At the same time, if you actually build the bridge, it's going to sound like this. We provide you data on your longest staying, highest LTV clients, allowing you to focus your marketing ad spend on them so you can 4x your return on campaigns. Now that does work because there is this logical bridge build. Now, moving on. The next thing I want to talk about is number 3, explaining situations beats name dropping feelings. What this means is you don't even need to mention things like struggling, desperate, or calling out those feelings. Instead, what you need to do is explain the specific situation the person is in. And it's always enough to get them go through all these bad feelings in their mind. Be so specific that it feels you're talking to just one person, even though for all your ICPs, it makes sense. And then the subconscious effect comes into play. Because if I just reference the situation which sounds like this, you are standing in an airport queue for a 6 a.m. flight. You're gonna go through feelings subconsciously. So I didn't mention a single feeling, yet you recalled how annoying, tiring, and unpleasant it is. And this is something you want to do in your campaign messaging too. And if you want help articulating your messaging the right way, so your campaigns also land your calls with this 8 and 9 figure motivated buyers, you can apply for my advisory at saascamp.com because inside, I already helped more than 10 people become millionaires with their SaaS startups, and I'd love to help you out too so that you can save yourself a couple of years of heading in the wrong direction there. Now, number 4, you can get the right people in without using numbers. So if you're trying to get those 8 and 9 figure founders on your calls, the following won't work. Hey, if you're making 5 mil a month and want gazillion meetings to add $3 signs in revenue, book a call. Instead, you can articulate their situation well and get them interested instantly. So using numbers for qualifiers like this is not gonna work, promising like gazillion MRR added or shit ton of meetings. At the same time, you want to articulate their situation exactly as it is, because that gets people to resonate, especially when they are up the buying ladder. Have you scaled your manufacturing company but feel you are not offered as many key industry partnerships as you could because your brand doesn't have enough presence? We will help you fix that. I never mentioned revenue qualifiers or gazillion appointments. The fulfillment, though, would remain identical, but the positioning attracts a completely different caliber of buyer. And this is what you want to achieve with your campaigns too. Now, coming to point 5, you want to stop letting the wrong people in. I've seen so many, I think over 50 founders who would be making this mistake in their campaigns and then wondering why after months and months of running ads, they're not getting people who are motivated, have the budget, are looking to implement their solution now, and instead they are dealing with like 2 to 3 months sales cycles. And recently I even chatted with a founder who is now telling me that he's got a 12-month sales cycle without him working on an enterprise solution, which means that there is no physical way for him to scale it at a decent pace. And if you never want to be dealing with issues like that, then the thing you need to do is start disqualifying people more. So polluting your pixel data is one of the costliest ad mistakes there are for you to fix. By you not being selective enough on who you're letting on calls, this leads to the algorithm finding even more of those irrelevant people. And then you're going to be left to guess why your close rates are so low and your deal cycles are so long. Well, no surprise, because when the bad leads are coming in, basically Pixel learns from them, finds more bad leads, and then this is a vicious cycle which is going to be burning you hundreds of thousands in ad costs. Now, the way I solve it with clients is the following. I show them how to set up backend tracking to optimize for high intent qualified buyers only, so they can teach the algorithm on their top examples. One thing we actually do is set up the tracking such way that inside their CRM, when they mark the lead as a non-high intent non-buyer, then it does not go to MetaPixel. And at the same time, when they mark someone as qualified high intent buyer, then this information does go to Meta. And guess what happens after 100 of such calls goes in? It makes their close rates much higher, allowing them to start scaling their startup a lot quicker. And no surprise, they started going from like 3x return on campaigns to 5, 10, and sometimes even 15x ROAS, which they are seeing. I'm not saying that it happens every single time I touch someone's campaign like a hand of Midas, but look, if right now you're not implementing the right frameworks here for you to be feeding the right information into your pixel, then I'm confident that once this is implemented, you should start getting more motivated people in. So this lets them scale their startups much quicker, as they are wasting no time on tire kickers who are busy, and basically they become busy signing with prospects who made a decision even before meeting them. Because when you feed the right type of information into Pixel, it just all works out and makes it so much easier for you to scale. Now, you can join my Telegram channel to see how I'm helping my clients become the fastest growing companies in their market, because I oftentimes publish different data on how the campaigns are performing, what are we doing to improve certain bottlenecks and stuff like that. Or you can just go and apply for my advisory directly at saascam.com, because one of the key reasons why I started helping out founders in a form of like consulting, coaching, advisory, etc., is because I was joining so many different accelerator programs and they were so terrible, and I just knew that founders deserve better. And that's why it's been so important for me to be helping founders speed up this most like difficult part of their journey, which is getting to the first couple million in annual revenue. And this is why I'm very proud that after 4 years of me specializing in that, I've been able to help more than 150 different entrepreneurs in almost every niche imaginable, helping them book thousands and thousands of product demos and helping them generate mid 8 figures in sales. So if what you've been listening resonates with you and you feel that my knowledge can help you achieve your results quicker, then I'm inviting you to apply. On this note, appreciate you watching this video and start selling to millionaires, because it's just so much better to scale your startup this way. Talk soon.